Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Mahogany Circle Show. My name is Ameedah Hasan, and I am one of the hosts of the Mahogany Show. Mahogany Circle of Hope Tacoma is a cancer support group that educates the African American community and promote hope and wellness to newly diagnosed patients and supporters. We serve all people. Today, we have some beautiful women on our panel, and we also have someone in our audience. And today, we are going to discuss surviving breast cancer. The other host that we have today is Gloria Bryant, and she is the president of Mahogany Circle of Hope. Gloria, you want to say hello? Gloria?
Hello, everyone, and thank you for being a part of our show today. It's a special show because this is how we got started. We're cancer survivors, and the support was really needed. So thank everyone for participating.
Thank you, Gloria. Today, we have as our guest, we have Dorothy Bradley, we have Reverend Ashanti Wright, we have Marge Kaiser, and we have RN Adrian Tillman as a resource person to tell us just a brief information about her program. But we also have a listener today who can also impact our program. We have RN Leah Johnson joining us today. All three of our immediate guests are breast cancer survivors, and they each will give their testimony on their journey. I just want to input that I'm a breast cancer survivor, and Gloria Bryant is also a breast cancer survivor. So we will go ahead and begin our show. We just want to tell all our participants, thank you very much for taking the time to come and share with us. Gloria, you want to go ahead and get started?
They can unmute now if
Yes.
they want to.
Yes.
I wanted to start out by asking if they would just tell us a little bit, each one would tell us a little bit about themselves. We can start with Reverend Wright.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a retired nurse, RN myself, and I'm also been in ministry over 30 years. And I am glad to have this support group, because when I found out about them, there was only one other group that was specific to African American women. That was the Sierra Sisters in Seattle, and I knew her from another group that I had belonged to. So I think I'm glad to be a part of this group and glad that they are active. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Marge.
Yes, I'm Marge Blount, and I am so thankful to be here, and I appreciate the Mahogany Circle of Hope inviting me, and they're an awesome ministry. I'm retired 7 years now, and I spend most of my time as volunteer at my church and also in the community. I'm a mother of 2 sons and have 6 grandkids, and I just love this work. I'm even prior to being diagnosed with breast cancer, I was a complete advocate for it. And my mom, that was her death was due from breast cancer.
Sorry to hear that. Thank you, Marge. Dorothy?
Yes, my name is Dorothy Brantley. I'm also retired for 7 years. I worked in the public employment arena, And I am also thankful for Mahogany Circle of Hope because having somewhere where you can have other sisters be a part and share in the journey of cancer is important.
Thank you, Dorothy. So I was just wondering, before you were diagnosed, were all you ladies getting your mammogram?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, annually. Mhm.
Can I ask what age were you diagnosed at?
Do you want to
I
start
was-
with me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, this is Reverend Wright. I was just diagnosed 2 years ago at 70, I'm 79, 77 years old. Amen. But I had been followed since I was in my 40s, and I had to have a ultrasound, and that's recommended now. But that was way back then when I first started, that they did ultrasound to get a better picture than a mammogram back then. And now they're really advocating the ultrasound and MRIs for people with dense breasts, and that's a lot of African American women.
Right,
So
right.
yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ameedah.
No, I was gonna say that's right. African American women do have dense breasts. That's
Yes.
correct. Go ahead.
Marge.
I was diagnosed in March 2020, and I was at 73 years old at that time.
And I was diagnosed in 2017 at 64.
Thank you, ladies.
Uh,
Ameedah, I kind of jumped ahead a little bit, so you want to go?
oh, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Ladies, all of you, did you have a biopsy?
Yes.
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 And did you ever have an issue with your insurance? I know we all have different types of insurance. Was there an issue with yours when you were going through your treatments?
With mine, I'm a veteran. I had veteran care, but also because I a part of a special program, the Camp Lejeune probability of breast cancer. My daughter also is, and she ushered me to the Virginia Mason to be taken care of with the VA special project paying for all my care.
Well, that's a blessing.
That is.
Yes, yes, yes.
I too have a wonderful insurance. It provided for the majority of my care expensive for the from the beginning to the end, even through my surgery and aftercare and even the therapy afterwards. So yes, my insurance paid for the bulk of everything.
And the same for me. I didn't have any issues with insurance.
Mhm.
The reason we ask that question is sometimes we've talked to women that are afraid to even go in to get their mammogram because of insurance issues. So
Yes.
I was blessed to have insurance, and I'm thankful for that, because
Mhm.
to hear some of the stories that people have to go through that don't have insurance,
Yeah.
not very good.
And most
So,
insurers will only cover the screening, but if you need a diagnostic, that's when you sort of run into the red tape and barriers.
That's true. That's
Mhm.
true.
Mhm.
Very true.
what stage were you when you were diagnosed? Like, were you a stage 2 or 3 or 4? What stage were you? Do you recall?
Yeah,
Reverend
I was
Wright?
this Reverend Wright. I was a stage 3, and I was a HERS 2, which is a
Mm.
kind of a really difficult cancer, not controlled by hormones.
Mm.
So I had a different type. Uh, they give the statistics of 5 years, survivor, but I'm here now, so I don't worry about that.
Amen.
Yes.
I'll tell you about that later. I got
Oh.
attitude, got attitude on that.
Uh, Well, mine was a estrogen receptor. I was at stage 1, and it was a slow growing type of cancer, and there was like maybe 3 little teeny, like a pea-sized tumors. Mhm.
That was good. Early detection, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And I was stage 1 for my cancer, and I have the invasive ductal carcinoma. And so, yeah, and it was caught in a really early stage.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I had the same type you had, Dorothy, but I was a stage 3 and mine had spread it to 3 places under my arm. So,
Mm.
yeah. Ameedah?
Ladies, could you share with us what was the treatment that you had for your cancer? Dorothy, you wanna
Oh, okay.
start?
Well, I had a lumpectomy to remove the surgery, and they also removed some of the lymph nodes as precaution, and went through several weeks of radiation,
Mhm.
and then followed up with my oncologist on hormone regimen for the past 5 years.
Mhm.
Okay, this Reverend right with mine. I had well, I had the biopsies of the lymph node and the breast, but my treatment started with chemotherapy and surgery, and then radiation in that order. I had like 6 weeks of radiation every day, which I thought was going to be impossible, but thank God for my family, I was able to survive that radiation therapy. So I had everything.
Yeah. Well, I had a lumpectomy, but I also had reductions, so I had surgery on both breasts. And and then I didn't have to have chemo, thank God for that. But I did have 16 rounds of radiation, and then now I'm on the medication to suppress my body from producing any estrogen. And I have to be very mindful of eating foods, even like chicken, that has any hormones in it. So, and that's a 5, and I need to be on the medication for 5 years. So I have another 3 years for taking this medication.
Okay, Leah Johnson has a question in the chat.
Mhm.
Correct me, Leah, did you say, what do you do if you have no insurance? Was that the question?
Correct. Previously, I think all the participants said that they had insurance. What happens when women don't have insurance? Are there resources?
Yes, I could speak to that. I'm a member of the Leaders in Women Health. And far as getting your mammograms, and then Adrian probably could speak that as well, because she's a navigator there. But far as getting your mammogram, they do have funding for those who do not have insurance.
And this
But
is
mhm,
Carol Milgard, correct?
that's correct, yes. And beyond that, I don't know, maybe the financial person at Milgard have resources or can work them through if they need surgery or any follow-up, or even with the biopsies. Mhm.
And Marge, I believe that Project Access can step in and help too with that, I believe. But I'll have to check on that. Adrian might have information on that. I'm not sure. That's a
I
good
think they
question,
have
Leah.
them. Yeah, I think they have them to apply for state insurance also.
Oh,
Correct.
yes.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure. Adrian, do you have any more information on that?
No, I don't have any information on that one, but I do know that Donica at Carol Milgard is in charge of also helping with financial assistance. They would just have to fill out a form and show 3 pay stubs or their income for 3 different pay series. And so, but she's very helpful with helping to get financial aid. and she's at Carol Milgard.
Mhm.
Thank
And
you,
I-
Amy.
I also would like to add that there are a lot of health fairs that happen where they do have free mammogram, the truck going around
Right,
in the mobile thing. And I know Sierra Sisters promotes that. They're in Seattle and they promote that. And also I volunteered with the Kidney Association, and they had health fairs where they had mammograms done at that time for free. So there are different health groups, if you follow some of the health fairs, that they do have access through, the mobile mammogram bus.
I know there's a lot of resources for mammograms to get, detected, but I think the big question was, what happens after you've been diagnosed? Then
Mhm.
what if you don't have insurance?
I have no idea.
And I think it's the state insurances, I've heard them say they applied for that.
right. I think you're right, Gloria. You have to meet that below the poverty line, and I think you're automatically given to the state for the ACA or Medicaid. And I remember Leanne, who's the director at Carol Milgard, she was the director of Project Access. I'm almost sure that they can go in and support financially. I don't know how much, but I believe they're supposed to be able to assist with some of the funds. But that is a great question. You have a lot of women who work and don't have health insurance.
Yes.
So then what? You know,
I
but
think that's something we can check into.
yeah, I
to be-
agree. We need to look into that a little bit more. Yes, definitely.
Thanks, Leah.
I'm gonna flip questions. Um, Emotionally, how did you feel, lady? Once you got your diagnosis, how did you feel emotionally?
Well, I was at peace. Um, once again, having been going through with cancer with my mom, and then like again being a member of the Leaders of Women Health, and we do a lot of education around health, breast wellness. So a lot of things that occurred that wasn't a surprise for me. My faith, of course, always keep me at rest and peace. And then being diagnosed early and having well, not just, but having stage 1. So I was at perfect peace. The doctor was sort of surprised, but that I didn't have any, my emotions were just, I could say, perfect peace.
Yeah. I want to say too that I wasn't really that upset about it because my daughter had been diagnosed a few years before, and so we had been emotionally, involved with her treatment. Of course, she was younger than me, so it was a different situation. It was she had good care though, also, and support. And I was kind of, not surprised when it happened because I had some other ones that were possibilities before that, mammograms that came up. So I was just ready for whatever treatment. I didn't want all the treatments, but I was able to make my own decisions on that.
Well, I was surprised. In my family history, there was no one that I knew of that had cancer before. So I was surprised about the diagnosis. But as both of the ladies says, I was at peace with it, and wanted to go through next steps and see what could be done about it.
Thank you, ladies. Did you worry about your body image?
No, I
No,
didn't have any
In
worry
my-
about that.
In my case, it was enhancement because I did, like I stated earlier, I had the reduction and they did both breasts, and they were my image, my body looked much better than it did prior to.
Oh, okay, Marge.
Amen, amen.
You were endowed.
Well, I want to, yeah, I want to say that the surgeon was very helpful with us. Was the same surgeon my daughter, and so she was just wonderful and very positive. And I never even had to have any kind of drainage or anything. Matter of fact, you can't hardly see the scar. A very, very wonderful doctor, really, astute on what she was doing. And she, when I got to her, she said, "This is gonna be a piece of cake," compared to the what do you call it, the chemotherapy and everything, which was true. The surgery was the easiest part of the treatment, which I was surprised. But yeah, she was very helpful in keeping the emotions together. She was very thorough and positive.
That's good. That's
Yes.
good. Can
Well,
I?
well, for me, I just had the one breast done and I had a prosthetic. The cancer being taken out was good for me. I
Yeah.
was worried about what it looked like.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have an awesome plastic surgery. Even now, you can't see any scarring. You can't see anything. It just And each time I go to one of my other doctors, they're just astonished. They say, "Did you really have surgery?" But yes, he did an awesome job. Mhm.
Yeah, I
Ladies,
just want to add to. I just had a lumpectomy. I didn't have my breast removed at all.
Mm.
It was just removing the lump that was there, and that was it. I didn't have any kind of major surgery on my breast.
Mm.
well, you all have a very good positive outlook and sound like you guys had a satisfactory experience with your medical providers and the whole process. I think that's
Yes.
wonderful. Um, I just want to make a comment. All three of you all had different stages of cancer, different treatment process, and me and Gloria, we had our cancer like 2009, 2010. And it's amazing how just listening to your experience, it sounds as if things have advanced.
Mhm.
And that's a positive thing. Gloria, what do you have to add to that? What do you think?
It seems like it's come a long way because I was going to ask them if they had a say in what type of treatment or what they had done, because like when I found out I had cancer and went to my doctor, everything was laid out that day when I came in for my diagnosis and everything. He told me when I was going to have my chemotherapy, when I was going to have my surgery, when I was going to have my radiation. So everything, I mean, I felt like I was helpless in a way because I didn't have a say. I was afraid. I didn't know if I wanted treatment or didn't want treatment. It was just like, it was a whirlwind. And it was a while before I could even say the word that I had cancer. So, and to this day, I still haven't completed my reconstruction. The one breast now, the one that they removed, and I had implants put in, but the my surgeon, plastic surgeon, did such a bad job. I need to have the implants removed, and that's kind of nerve wracking too because at my age, I really don't want to be going back in for surgery. So I don't know. We all have our different experiences. Ameedah had breast cancer. We were had them at the same time, pretty much within months apart in the same church, but we didn't know. We didn't know each other was going through cancer.
Yeah.
So it
It
just
was
shows you that
4 women at one time had breast cancer in the church.
And we all had different types of treatment, but we all had breast cancer. So there's a lot of different techniques they use, but it seems like to me it's come a long way.
Mhm.
Yes, I'd like to speak to that. You know, I've been a nurse a long time, and back in the day, like the 60s, I was taking care of people with breast cancer, and we would just put them in a room to die. There wasn't any kind of treatment going on. There was no mammograms that I can remember about, and they all had lymph gland, involvement. And that's another thing. They did biopsy on me with lymph nodes. I didn't have any involvement with my lymph nodes, but they did. So from that day to this day, it's really, really come a long way. And I did have choices on my treatment, and that was discussed with me in the beginning. Before I had any treatment, they discussed the types of things and when and where it could be done. And so the doctors did give me a choice. As a matter of fact, I delayed, made a few months before I chose to have the radiation therapy. So after the surgery, it was just a lot of things going on, but I was able to be part of the positive, decision making. I really feel like they did give me all the information, and then as tolerated, I had the care. Like I didn't have all the chemotherapy they first started out with because I couldn't tolerate it. So I was part of the treatment. I told them, can't do no more. That's it. And so they heard that, So the doctors were continually talking with me about my treatment. So I do feel like I had a few choices in some of the treatment. It was really, really, really good doctors. This was at Virginia Mason Hospital, as a matter of fact, in Federal Way. So in case anybody wants to go there, they were one of the first people, that started doing mammograms in Seattle. Seattle, the hospital in Seattle itself, that's where they first started doing mammograms here. I remember when they first started in the 70s, they were doing mammograms. Nobody else was really doing them. And Virginia Mason was the prime hospital that started. So I was happy to be there. I was glad I got the kind of care I got.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Wright. Gloria?
I was gonna ask, did you have all the support you needed when you were going through family, friends? Did you have all the support you needed? Reverend
So
Ryan?
for me.
Okay, yes,
Go ahead,
I don't
David.
want to be the only one speaking, but
Go ahead.
thank God for being a faith person. I was really into healing, knowing that the Lord is going to take care of whatever is going to be going on with me. I wasn't really, anxious like that. And I had great family support, more than I can really even explain here. I have a brother, a sister here, and their wives and husbands, and my grandchildren and my daughter. And so they were terrific. And then, like I say, I found a Mahogany group. I was able to talk with them and share with them. I already knew Bridget from the Sierra Sisters, and I had referred my daughter to seeing them because I didn't even know that there was somebody around this area. So she was up in Federal Way. So Bridget was a big support person. And I'm sure you all heard, maybe if you haven't heard the Sierra Sisters,
Oh, yeah.
she's been going for 20 something years and doing all cancer, and just a really, pray for her right now. She's really been going through herself, and she had a great group, and that's how I first found out about, but there were no groups for African-American women except for this one and the Sierra Sisters. And so I used all I could, and of course my church family was definitely a support system for me.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Well,
think-
family, and initially my granddaughter and my sister were my support.
Okay.
My
Mom?
surgery was right at the beginning of the COVID. It was in March of 2020.
Wow.
So my granddaughter and my daughter-in-law were my caregivers at the beginning. But after that, naturally my church sisters, they would, leave things at the door and so forth and so on. So but I could say God just gave me completely peace And I just kept following what I should do, and then just just taking care of myself and moving around when I was possible, because that's my life theory, is that you got to keep your body moving. So, but yeah, I had plenty of phone calls and items left at the door. But as far as being face-to-face contact, but I feel the love, so we could feel the love whether they're in person or not. So yeah.
Amen.
Mhm.
Amen.
It
Amen.
makes you wonder though, what happens with the people that don't have family?
Yeah.
I
it's
didn't have
sad.
very much family here. I just had my immediate family, my daughter and grandkids. I wonder about the people that don't have family, or are not really connected to church or different types of group. It really, those are the ones we try to get out and reach any
Yes.
way we can, because it's sad to have to go through that alone.
Mhm.
It's not easy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, I mean.
Um, I'm gonna go to the next topic. Um, did you make any changes in your lifestyle, diet, or exercise after you experienced breast cancer? Dorothy, you want to answer that?
Well, I certainly tried to.
Mm-hmm.
I did start in exercising daily and watch dieting, but that's something that I'm continue to work with at this time, But tried to stay active, like Marge was saying. You want to keep going and moving. I got involved in with different groups and things to keep myself busy.
I
Okay.
think mhm.
Go ahead, Mark.
I think diet and exercise is very, very important. I think that was sort of could contribute to my onset of cancer, because I've always had a really good, always exercise, had a pretty clean diet, not a lot of meat and so forth. It's just that I didn't particularly care for meat, but I had been traveling for like 2 years, and I was eating all kinds of things that you should not eat. So so I think that, and then also not being able to exercise, you just might do some walking during the day, but if I used to go to the Y or even exercise here at home. And so I had ceased doing those two things. So now I'm back to getting back to a more healthier lifestyle and being more active, back to the gym and so forth.
Okay,
Lots
very
of
good.
water as well.
Oh yeah, the water is important. Reverend Wright?
Yeah, amen. I had a difficulty with that. I didn't do well with dieting, but I do try to increase my water intake, which I'm not a water person, so we found all kind of ways to give me Crystal Light and different things like that to drink water, because I'm not a water person. And I do have some mobile problems. I've had both my knees replaced and arthritis and stuff. So I was using my walker trying to get around, a lot. And that's the only thing different that I did. I had already had problems with mobility. So I was doing the best that I could.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Ameedah, there was two, I think, questions that came up.
Mary said we had 15 minutes, and then Adrian just put something in here. I was gonna let Adrian talk about the program briefly. Let me see. Can you see
Okay,
it?
it was, I just saw it.
Well, I was just wondering about, since we were talking about changing diet, did you all cut down on your sugar intake in your diet? Because sugar is supposed to feed cancer, so that's why I just wanted.
That's true.
In the beginning, I was very faithful in doing that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It is a hard one.
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Well,
Especially
I
in
was
the holidays.
Mhm.
I think Leah's question was the side effects from the treatment, from your treatment. Was there any side effects or anything anybody experienced? I know sometimes they said there's nausea or no taste, or have your appetite is not there. Did anyone have any side effects?
Well, I just want to say that on the side effects for the chemotherapy, it's a long side effects of being, sensitive to sun. I still have sunburn on my face now, that, even from just being outside. And then your blood work kind of gets crazy too. Some of your red blood cells and things might not be up to par in the beginning, and they get changed. So the chemotherapy does a lot of different things to your body. And so you have to be careful. There's a lot of longevity things in that chemotherapy treatment. The radiation, I did have a 2nd-degree burn for almost a year. And so, but I was getting medication for that, and finally it's pretty much healing.
Thank you. There's a question in the chat. Leah asked, since all were diagnosed by the mammogram, did you have any symptoms? And did you do your self-breast exam?
No symptoms for me. And as a side effect, I have lymphedema. I had to go to physical therapy for that. And some of the medication that I started with, the hormonal medication, also caused a lot of stiffness and joint pain and like menopausal type things.
Okay. Anybody else? And then we'll let Adrian speak on the sister program. Anybody else want to comment?
Well, I'll just say in my last few radiations, I was very fatigued, very tired. It just drained my energy. I also have the lymphedema because they took 3 lymph nodes out. So I'm even in now taking, getting therapy on that. And I went through like 3 medications before I finally got to a medication that I can tolerate, my body can tolerate.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're going to have Adrian speak on the sister campaign.
Okay,
Adrian.
All right, thank you for the invite. My name is Adrian Tillman. I am RN. And as we're talking today, I have taken care of many patients who have had mastectomies and treatment for breast cancer. And that's part of the reason why I do this program. It's called Sister Friends, and it's funded and started through the Leaders in Women's Health, as Marge spoke about earlier. And it's a really good program. It's mainly to help our sisters of color get their mammograms. It's an opportunity for them to get their mammograms. And we realize that there's so many disparities that women of color are having. As you all mentioned earlier, sometimes it's the insurance, sometimes it's just fear and not wanting to know or being afraid of having breast cancer, and transportation getting there and all these kind of things. So the Leaders in Women's Health together partnered and have a program called Sister Friends through the Carol Milgar building. And with this program, we have 4 dates a year that women can come in and get their mammograms. And it's from 1 to 5 on these different days. And we try to get the word out so that they can make sure they get in, because even with COVID happening, a lot of women got behind on their mammograms and the Carol Milgar was backed up. And so then a lot of Black women didn't even get theirs. It was just put off and hard to get in. So this program helps to make sure that women of color can get in and have their mammograms done. If there's any, we have funding so that if there's anybody underinsured or no insurance, there's money available for that. And we have the program that can help with financial aid and all too. So, and the next one will be December 6th from 1 to 5 at the Carol Milgar building on 19th Street. And I am one of the navigators to help get women in. And I just kind of screen them and see if they're having any issues. And if so, if not, then they can get their screening mammograms, because these are only for screening mammograms. And if there's any issues, then I would refer them to someone who can help further do the diagnostic imaging and all that kind of thing. And there's also a nurse practitioner that we're working with. If anybody can't get an order or permission for a mammogram, the nurse practitioner can also help with that. And again, the date is December 6th.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's what she wanted to
Okay, I just saw that too.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your
from
question.
1 to 5.
And Mary had asked a question on what type of doctors, and it's the oncologist is usually who you go to for to be diagnosed or treated.
Thank you, Gloria. Well, ladies, I
Did
don't
Leah,
know our time
was
to,
Leah gonna speak? Ameedah,
Leah, did you want to say anything?
any announcements she might have?
Leah?
Yeah, could I just say that this is extremely informative, it's powerful. Ladies, you don't look like what the stories that you're telling. You all look really well. And my personal story is I had a sister diagnosed with breast cancer in 2014. She was 49 years old. And my second sister was diagnosed with breast cancer in August. And so this information is really timeful for me. I supported my first sister through. That first sister is now supporting the second sister through. I think what I did here too is about, it's so important to be empowered. To be heard and to be listened to. And I think that is probably the wonderful thing that you all do and the purpose that you serve. Gloria, I heard you say that you were told what was going to happen to you. And I think many of us are in this space because we want to be able to make decisions. We want the information, we want the education. We don't want to be told what to do. We want to be able to partner with providers.
That's right.
And get that
That's right.
information and be able to make the
That's
decisions
right.
for ourselves. So
That is so
I
true.
heard you and I heard the others say, and I think in the walk with my sister, she received a lot of information and was asked, and she was able to make decisions. And so I think that is a matter of things have changed, but also I think as Black women, sometimes we aren't heard. Many
Yes.
times we're told what we're going to do and how it's
Yes.
going to work. And I think this group is a perfect place for folks to learn and to be empowered that you don't have to do just what's told to you. You have options.
That's
So
right.
it's,
Amen, Leah.
I'm happy to
Amen.
be here with you all.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Leah.
I'm not trying to rush you guys. I thought I saw 5 minutes in
I
the
think
chat
you
room,
did.
Mhm.
but I want to thank every last one of you. You powerful, beautiful women and survivors of breast cancer for being our guests today on the Mahogany Show. Do any of you ladies want to have one last word? What do you want to leave with our audience today? Reverend Wright, in the 5 minutes we have.
Yeah, I would just like to say, go as early as you can. Sometimes they don't give us the right, information as African-American women. At one time, they said we didn't need to have mammograms until we were 50. And so my daughter was diagnosed at 49. And so I think that we should go earlier just because of our dense breasts and at least get a baseline. If nothing happens, maybe it could stretch it out for 2 or 3 years. But I think that we should go earlier than 40 because there's a chance that we might have cancer and not even know it. And they do have, good detection systems now for us. And I just feel that is part of the care problem is that we don't go early enough.
That's right.
I think the reason we don't go early enough, though, I think the insurance won't pay for it until you're 40.
40. I think you're right, Gloria. I think you're right.
I would say know your body, do your self-exams every month, and
Yeah.
once again, go in and get your mammograms. And lots of water, lots of green things, and lots of exercise.
Very good. And Dorothy?
Yes, no family history if you possibly can. And make sure you tell family members if you have family members, so they are aware of that.
Yep. And Gloria, did you catch that last comment in the chat room? I didn't see it. Did you?
I didn't.
Would you tell a woman newly diagnosed of breast cancer?
I would tell her, I would tell her to follow what her doctor say, because sometimes you get people that you come in contact that want to kind of tell you, well, I wouldn't do that, or, you know, whatever your doctor say. I think it's best if you follow his instructions, not go on what her friends say or how hers work, because we're all different.
Right.
And that's mine. Ameedah, anyone
Yeah,
else?
I agree. Listen to your doctor, but I always tell anybody, have an advocate with you, take a friend with you, or take a family member with you, because you're trying to process so much. You might miss something, but if you have a person with you, they can help you process what's going on. But since
if
we
you
got
have
2
a-
minutes,
Yeah,
I
if
want,
you have a concern, get a second opinion.
Yes, I was gonna
right,
say that, yes.
yeah, that's true. Get a second opinion. Well, ladies, thank you so much.
Okay.
Just powerful.
You
I
have to
even learned something.
invite them to our meeting, so then they can get more information and they can share more also.
Right. Our
That's
Mahogany
what I was
Circle
gonna say.
meeting.
There's help out there. Check out the Mahogany Circle group of wonderful
Thank you,
ladies.
Adrian. We appreciate that. And thank you to
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you to everyone who came today and supported this program. I think Leah's right. I think if other women hear the discussion, maybe they won't have the fear, and maybe they'll know that they don't have to do this walk by yourself. We are on Facebook and we have a website. I believe Mary said this presentation should be on Facebook by this evening, I believe. So you can share with others if you like. And Mary, you want to input on about Spotify? Mary?
Hi, you
We're
guys.
go ahead. There you go.
Hi, you guys. Hi, you guys. This was fantastic, fantastic. And we still are recording. But I want to let everyone know that we will have a straight talk about health and wellness podcast. And the Mahogany Circle will be on that podcast. All right. So those of you that are listening, all right, just like the lady said, always check with your healthcare professional first. You're going to be hearing some great things from the Mahogany Circle. I love you to death. But just do Mary Henderson one favor. Do not do anything and say, I got it from the straight talk about health and wellness. I got it from the Mahogany Circle. Don't say that. Always go to your healthcare professional first. And look for us on podcasts on Spotify very soon as we speak. All right? All right, Ameedah, take it over, girl.
Okay, well, ladies, once again, thank you to everyone who came today and shared their experience. Thank you to Adrian sharing the sister program, and thank you, Leah, for coming and participating in the discussion. You all had something to give, and you are warriors. I'm just so proud of you all, and we're just glad to know you all and your journey and sharing, and you just champions. I'm just, thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Gloria, you want to
Thank
say
you.
anything, and then we're
I
going to
just
sign
want
off.
to thank everybody, and I'm so overwhelmed to see Black women that can come together like this and just be informative to each other. I just say thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Mhm.
Until next month, you have been listening to the Mahogany Circle Show on Spotify and on Facebook. Everyone have a blessed day, and thank you so much. Have a good day. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.